Those are the two teams right in the center of your screens of the bracket. It's OpTic going against Rise. Look at the path they took. OpTic have a bit of a rough showing to the quarterfinals against TSM, but then they get their own little 4-0 against Elevate.
If you look at this bracket, both teams in the finals now improved from their first day. And Rise Nation only lost one map versus Luminosity. Then they 4-0'd FaZe Clan. And now OpTic Gaming, in similar fashion, was a little closer with TSM yesterday. And now they just gave a 4-0 dominating series to Elevate. So both these teams they have not lost yet today, and they're going to be playing against each other.
Well, that's true. They're both on a streak. And this is going to be exciting for me, mostly because, I mean, we talked about how, Vicento said they were going to beat OpTic or whatnot, but it's so different when Looney says it. It's Rise right now, they're like the hounds out on the hunt, right? They called FaZe out, they put him as the target, and then they took him down 4-0. Right after constantly just like, listen, I kept saying it, and he's driving it home. He's not letting anyone forget that they said they're going to beat OpTic. They want to beat OpTic.
This matchup between OpTic and Rise is so unpredictable for me because Rise has beaten them before. I think it was at the first LAN of the year.
Yeah, Totino's.
Yeah, and Rise Nation ended up taking that in the finals versus OpTic Gaming. But here's the thing. We don't know the map series yet. We don't know what they're going to be playing on. I'm sure it's already listed. Do you have them, Will?
I might have it.
Oh, my God. Let's hear them, please. I need to know them right now.
I don't know if I want to let you know. I mean, you guys were asking for your own little greeds over there earlier. You're buffing the Weevil and whatnot. I don't know if you want to know this.
Oh, come on.
I mean, all right, so we do have that best of 7 coming on. Of course, the modes are going to be the same. But just so you guys can break it down a little bit, we'll see what it's like. It's going to start on that Stronghold hardpoint, going over to that Breach Search and Destroy, Fringe uplink, Evac capture the flag, Hunted Search and Destroy for map number 5, and then going back to Fringe for another hard point, and then it's going to be that Infection Search and Destroy if it goes to a Game 7.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for OpTic here. I think these are really good maps for Rise Nation. I'm thinking back to UMG South Carolina. Stronghold Hardpoint was the first map in the grand finals there, and Octane came out and dropped 46 in the very first map to kick things off. I don't think it's going to be an easy time for Rise by any stretch of the imagination, but both teams, I feel like they want to win for different reasons. OpTic Gaming, they want to, come back to the top. They want their first title here in Black Ops 3. Rise, they want to prove everybody wrong. People counting them out for various reasons. They look like the best team in the game right now.
I'm curious what's happened. Every single time I'm up here, I sound like such an idiot, but I'm so curious to see what happens in that Search and Destroy. I just don't know how OpTic's going to handle the way that Rise Nation's been playing. I mean, Breach is a very straight-up map, once again. I'm sure in the pick and bans we'll see all the stuns and flashes, Semtex and nades go away, and then it just comes down to coordination and gunfights. It's a very small map. Yeah. There's not a lot of room for error, and so with those teams facing off and the hard point coming up, ooh, this is going to be a good series.
Yeah, well, the finals are shaping up to be real good. The players right now taking some time. OpTic might have to cool off a little bit, maybe warm up again, same with Rise, but as we wait for that, we actually have a chance to hear from Elevate after their tough loss against OpTic. Ashley, take it away.
Obviously, a tough loss against a tough opponent. What do you think? Where did it go wrong?
I played really bad that series, so I'm going to put that on myself. We have a lot to work on going into Season 2.
Absolutely. I mean, if you could go back, what would you change about this match?
Me play better.
That's what you think? You're going to put it all on yourself? It can't be.
Yeah, I got to.
It's got to be a team thing.
Yeah, but I played bad.
Well, that's very big of you. Well, obviously, tough loss, but there's more. Just regroup, get it back together. We're going to take a quick break.
Be still, please, don't you dare go! Oh my god, Legend's brain is splattered across the map.
Nable's going to have a big defensive stand here as they come in. There's one. He saw the player on the bomb as well. I believe popped the kinetic, and now he's going to fly. There's two. There's a third with the melee! Oh, Attach, you filthy, filthy man. All of a sudden, 1v1, round 11, 40 seconds on the clock. Attach versus Slack. Bomb is down.
Attach trying to push this onto the bomb side. He actually catches Slack, and he's able to win the gunfight.
Zerg very well could pick up this round. We could see TCM pick up 2-0. They need to be defusing now. They are. This is the one shot he needs to hit. He gets it. It's beautiful stuff from Zerg.
Just getting even.
There's a player underneath. Who's going under? I'm trying to see. It's Nagafen underneath. He's going to flank right behind. Nagafen with the play of the night. He's able to grab one. Able to grab two. Does he get three? Picks up three. Nagafen with the routes.
Competing is what I live for. People think it's so easy and you can just put an hour or two a day into it and it'll just magically happen. It's not like that. You have to be very dedicated. You have to really put your heart and soul into it and hope that it evolves into being a pro gamer. I'm the captain of the competitive team, so I do a lot of the out-of-game stuff, the inviting people to teams, talking about things that we need to work on. You do have to sacrifice quite a bit of time and a lot of different things to really become a professional gamer. There's been holidays like Thanksgiving where I'm down there for an hour eating dinner, and I'd be right back up there practicing again with my team, trying to get better. All of my family is in Pennsylvania. I live in Chicago with my girlfriend. I'll go back maybe once or twice throughout the year to visit and catch up with all of them. But they know that I'm doing what I love and they're very supportive of it. My favorite thing about what I do is definitely competing. People screaming and cheering every time a play was made. Even with those sound canceling headsets, you can still hear the crowd just going absolutely insane. And it really sends shivers throughout your whole body because it's really a surreal experience. There's nothing like it.
Outside of the game, it's just laughs and a lot of fun. We're all similar interests in terms of things outside of the game. I'll be friends with them even if I weren't teaming with them.
They're humble, they're down to earth. I love the loyalty that they have, and I love the supportiveness.
It's just a lifelong friendship I've created with these guys that through gaming, and it's just awesome.
We have Nameless, who's our captain, who's also another shot caller.
Just a cool guy, man, all around.
Marcus, also known as Miracles, he's a really good submachine gun player, so he's a slayer for us. He's the guy who just go in and kill everyone.
Ricky's always been a part of that group of friends.
I'm a really good vocal leader. When they need someone to make a play call, that's where I come in. And then Parasite's just a really smart player.
Parasite and Mir have won a world championship together. Me, Rick, and Parasite have won a tournament together.
I'm not too worried when it comes to the competition aspect. Our biggest enemy is ourselves. The heat of the moment in the game, and we're all really passionate about winning, and people screw up, we tend to kind of butt heads.
You have to be really a communicator, a team leader.
We're very strategic and tactical. We watch a lot of people's streams. We watch a lot of other teams play. And our search and destroy game is top tier. So I think that that's something that definitely holds us apart from all the rest of the teams. And I think it gives us an edge.
I love the tactics. I love all the strategy. I want to place first, man, through the whole year. I just want to be on top again, man. I miss the feeling.
It's been this amazing defensive play in pressure coming out of Elevate, and now they potentially have a score. There's nobody there to stop it. This one, no, there is. The Annihilator. What is this? He's there. He gets shut down. Are they going to be able to score? It's just Apathy by himself. There's one more in the back. Now they're going to have a return. With the play that he's able to grab one, able to grab two. Does he get three? Picks up three. Nagafin with the routes. What move did we see him go underneath? I saw him with the X-ray vision just below him. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to wrap right underneath. That was disgusting from Nagafin.
So if they try and challenge something,
there's the Heat Wave. Who comes soaring in? He is and Karma, Scott Formal, they're all coming in. Apathy by himself, and that's it. It's shut down.
Other team's person who's putting up the most kills is standing in your spawn, killing you over and over again. You're not having a good game.
No, not having fun. This isn't fun for DT right now.
I can understand why those teams you coached did well.
Yeah, I told him the basics. If you want to win, complex. And how is he going to play this?
He may catch some perfect timing here.
This could definitely be perfect. There's one. Does he challenge the second? The wall run's going to come in from the right. I don't know if you saw that player jump over the bomb. He's still able to sniper. They're playing slow, like you said. And there he's able to connect. Like you said, and there he's able to connect.
It's going to be 2-on-1 here. Never mind. Legal.
B-drop. Slasher was in the action too. He's able to get one. The drone's still down. What a heat wave coming in from Karma. Can they make the plays? The drone's still down. It's right in front of Slasher. They get it for a second, but he's by himself. He's getting pinched from both sides. This is nuts.
He is putting down tons of shots. How is Slasher still alive?
I have no idea. He gets another. The drone is reset though. So all this time, all he's done is at least keep them pinned.
Well, Slasher has gone on an unbelievable seven streak in their base. There's still a sight in play. The specialists most definitely are not dead. Coming around that corner, looking fierce, 8 seconds and counting. He keeps him safe. He's completely locked it down. Nelson, the bodyguard, is going to scoop it up and make it to 7. That is an astounding round, one to remember.
Heatwave gets hit. What a perfect use of that specialist. He stops the dunk from coming in. That is definitely a play to keep in mind. Classic with Afterburner. One player to beat, though. That's wall running as well. He turns around, passes it to his teammate. Mooney moving forward with the drone. He's got overdrive. He's going for the dunk. Is he going to float on in? Oh, that was so anticlimactic. The story of my life as he uses the...
we got to score. It doesn't matter. Yes. The greatest upward play ever! Looks like they should be able to at least put a two-point play on the board here. Yeah, they have an opportunity. Has to get back. And he's got kinetic as well, so they have an opportunity to actually make this happen. You're gonna see the drone get into the hands of OpTic. Slasher picks up, not able to toss it for yards, though. It's actually gonna be.
They got this. I think they have a chance.
He's got
the toss. Turn around. You gotta run. 6 seconds left. They should be able to get the dunk. And there it is. Tie game. OpTic Gaming. 3 seconds left. We've got OT.
Try and get a pick here. Nogman's going to toss in a nade, try and get a hit marker, but I don't think they have any idea spaces in that corner.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Look how cocky this is. He's still alive.
Really?
He flies in, tries to no-scope one. He watches his teammate drop. Is he going to be able to connect with his thing? There it is. Aqua, man on a mission right now. He finds a second. He's a maniac. He should be alive in the first place, and then he soars in one. Woo! Aqua, you filthy, filthy man.
My mom supported me for most of my gaming career, and my dad didn't really start supporting me until I won the COD Champs. He also wanted me to keep my grades up, do my homework, study for tests. He just wanted what's best for me, like any parents would. But now they're like full-fledged into it. They have Twitter, and they watch all my videos on YouTube. Everything, they're just very supportive now. I took a semester off college because I just knew I was going to be doing a lot of traveling. It would have just been really tough to keep up in school and to like be the best player I could be for my team. I'm a submachine gun player, so I'm always like in your face, running at people, do the objective, cover my teammates if they need cover, or just go to the lane that's open. Call of Duty 4, when I first started playing, I placed top 8 my first event. I started my first live stream and people came out to watch. FaZe Clan has a ton of fans, and now that I'm on FaZe, there's just a bunch of them. They're always tweeting us, congratulating us. I'm just going to keep writing it out, keep doing my absolute best. I don't think I have a personal, like, biggest rival, but since we're on FaZe, probably OpTic Gaming, because last year, FaZe won an event, and then OpTic won 3. Clayster, myself, Replays, and JCap were on Denial. We beat OpTic at Call of Duty Championships and won that tournament, and then OpTic won the next 2 tournaments, and then when we formed our new team with myself, Zuma, Enable, and Clayster, we beat OpTic 3 times on LAN, and they haven't beat us yet on LAN, so it's really fun when we play them. They're probably the best team in the game. Always love hanging out with them, but when we're in game, we're rivals, we just got to play each other, and it's always really fun because it's always an intense match.
Every day, I'll probably get 5 tweets on my Twitter asking, how do you become a pro gamer? Like, do you have any tips? You have to be dedicated, put a lot of time into it. You have to be patient. I've been putting in like 8 to 12 hours a day. Eventually, if you're a good player, you'll get recognized. Just from playing video games, they come up and say, hey, dude, I'm a big fan. Like, I appreciate what you do. And I think it's cool that someone wants me to write sharp on a piece of paper because I play video games. Right out of high school, I was traveling a lot. We were going to like London, we went to Germany and stuff like that. So, my family is like, why can't you hang out? And I'm like, well, I'm doing this. I have to play in this tournament. They've been to some of my tournaments. They usually watch all of them online, and my mom will sit there and watch my stream sometimes when I'm playing. So it's nice to have a supportive family. My brothers, they think it's pretty crazy. There was a tournament in Columbus they all went to, and they all had mullet wigs on because my whole thing is like mullet nation because I'm from Kentucky. So they were all rocking mullet wigs, screaming in the crowd. So it was pretty cool to see them out there. I think my team this year can go as far as any other team can go. I think we're one of the best teams. Black Ops 2 was Team Caliber's best game as an organization, so I think Black Ops 3 would just be the same thing.
Welcome back to the Call of Duty World League Finals presented by PS4. This whole day has come down to this, the grand final. We're going to bring out our 2 teams. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right. Well, first up, we're going to bring them out right now. Please welcome Rise Nation. All right, and they are going up against, you guys ready? You know what I'm going to say, OpTic Gaming. All right, they're getting set up, and I'm going to bring 2 players over here right now. I think we're going to get Scump. We're going to get Scump and Looney to come out on stage real quick, a little head-to-head. So why don't you guys stand right here for me? Take a look at this trophy. Take a look at each other. Yeah. Look at this. What do you want to say to Looney right now?
Good luck, man. We've had some heated rivalries online. Finally, we get to play on land. Should be a good match, buddy.
What do you want to say to Scump?
I agree with it. I think this is that legit land we're going to have and looking to come up on top.
How bad do you guys want this?
Oh, want this real bad. Real bad.
Pretty sure if we win this, we'll be the first to three-peat since OpTic did an NAW, so looking forward to that.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to do this like a ref. Shake hands. We're going to get started. Take a seat. I know they're ready. I'm ready. Will, guys on the couch, are you guys ready?
We are absolutely ready. Let's hear the studio once again. All you fans packed here to watch this finals. OpTic Gaming versus Rise. Are you guys excited? Woo! I know I am. Yep. That's the energy we want to see when it comes to this final. Best of 7. You two, I can feel the energy. I can see that. You guys have big smiles.
I'm sweating. It says
well, we didn't need to know that part, but
you're right there. This is going to be good.
This is going to be a great match because we talked about the story. We talked about the story of all the teams, but I'm going to focus again. OpTic, the story's obvious, right? They've long time coming, big team, but not only that, 20-2 record in the regular season, coming as #1 seed. Then there's Rise. We keep mentioning it, but we have to mention it again. The confidence flowing through. Say they want to take down the big names in front of everyone on a LAN to make sure that everyone kind of shuts up against all the other excuses that they've made up for the other wins.
As time's gone on, I mean, it's been pretty clear to everybody, right, that these are the top 2 teams in Call of Duty at the moment. We see the top 4 seeds make it into the semifinals. Now the top 2 make it into the grand finals, both off 4-0 victories. You couldn't ask for a better story leading to this grand final.
It is April, and Black Ops 3 and OpTic Gaming hasn't won an event yet. And I feel like for me, as a player and as a fan, that is a very weird sight to see because OpTic Gaming came into it with arguably the best roster. But Rise Nation has proved that talent-wise that they are the best right now. And if OpTic wants to dethrone them, they have to win this tournament. There's no other way to say that, okay, we've got a 20-2 record online, but if you can't come on LAN and beat this team, you have no right to say that you're the best. So Rise Nation, Rise Nation right now, they hold the throne. OpTic Gaming, just because of the name and all the players on the team, they got to earn it.
You're right, because when you talk about who do you remember the ones who stood on the stage. You remember the ones who lifted up that check, lifted up that trophy, because those are the pictures you're going to see. Those are the gifts you're going to see online. You're not going to remember the 20-2 image that someone posted from the scoreboard that showed up halfway through the show. Yeah, you're going to think about, oh yeah, I was there under those lights looking at those players. I was watching at home. We talk about it, and then all of stage 2, once again, that's going to be the story. You're going to carry that momentum, carry that reputation, and people are going to look at you with a target on the back. Rise wants to be there. Rise wants that target on their back when they play in stage 2.
Yeah, they are without a doubt the best team in Black Ops 3, and that is without question, and OpTic needs to prove that they can play with them.
I've seen people already saying, right, everyone knows OpTic Gaming for their hard point. Guess what? People know Rise just as much in that game mode. This team from top to bottom, they've all become superstar players in their own right. I think the most impressive so far this weekend for me has to be Octane. We saw him putting up major numbers to make that 4-0 face possible.
Yeah, he was absolutely going off. We talk about their major LAN wins, but now it's time for them to prove that they're the best here at the Call of Duty World League presented by PS4. All 4 members, we've crossed all their names once and again about their skills. We talked about how they look on stage, how confident they are. Looney with his interviews.
Yeah, for me, I think it's got to be Looney as my spotlight player because Octane has been doing very, very well, but last series that they played against FaZe Clan, Looney was putting up some insane numbers while playing the objective. I mean, in the CTF, he had like 20-plus kills and 3 captures with like 3 defends. He's just going off right now.
This match means so much to Rise because Rise haven't been able to beat OpTic online, right? And OpTic, all they've heard is that, oh, they're an online team. That's all they need to do to beat Rise. Well, now both these teams want this victory because obviously it proves Rise can beat them on LAN, and then it proves that, well, OpTic doesn't need online to beat Rise.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we keep talking about what's at stake for Rise, but you're right. As great of a team as OpTic is, as much of a following as they have, that kind of looms over their head like a storm. The whole fact that, you haven't proven yourself offline yet in Black Ops 3.
And that's one of my favorite parts about Crim6, is this guy is the definition of a competitor. He has the most LAN wins out of any player in Call of Duty history, and I know all he's thinking is, I need to get a win on Black Ops 3. I need to win a LAN tournament, and I'm sure he's disgusted that it hasn't happened yet. That's his mindset. That's the attitude that Crim6 has. He's just always been that player that you want on your side because he's a winner, and that's all he has done in his career is win.
And if there's any team that can match the superstars of Rise Nation, it is OpTic Gaming. Rise are all about slaying. OpTic are all about slaying. These guys They win their game modes based off of eliminating their opponents off the map and then scoring the objective because of it. You mentioned Looney. I'm going to bring up Scump because those two guys, you saw them on stage. They looked right at each other. They recognize that will be the battle this entire series between these two teams.
I mean, the storyline here is actually incredible. We couldn't set it up any better. This team, Rise Nation, hasn't lost a tournament. We said it at the beginning, and then OpTic Gaming wanting to just beat them as badly as they can just because of the players and their attitudes and who they are as competitors. So I'm so excited. We need to hurry this up. Can we get into the protected bands? Why are we still sitting here talking?
The players are getting ready. The players have to be able to play the game for us to watch the game.
They are divas. We need to start the game.
Well, in the regular season, like we said, they've played online, and you mentioned it. Rise couldn't take OpTic down. Not good enough just yet when it comes to that online play during the regular season. OpTic is leading 2-0. But that all has to go out the window at this point. I know I've spewed a lot of stats at you guys, but as soon as we got into that TSM game, I was like, all right, well, maybe the stats don't mean so much.
I mean, it's still something to think about, though, because everyone always mentions, online league versus LAN. The top 8, obviously in the top 8, well, the top 4 of those 8 teams make it through. Now the top 2 of those 4 all make it through. We've seen the top seeds step up, and they still play as they do online, now on LAN. It's really all going to come down to which team comes out of the gates hot.
I like the fact that there are really good player matchups. Like you mentioned earlier, you had Looney and Scump standing on stage together. But when you really break it down, these players are all very similar in their roles, in their respective roles, and what they do for their team. You have Octane and Formal holding it down for ARs. They play essentially the same exact way in Search and Destroy, and they do the same thing in respawns. And you got Scump and Looney, who are both very, very aggressive subs that are playing the objective, and then Slacked and Classic that are just great all-around players, and the same thing for Karma and Crimsix. So, I mean, really, this is the perfect final that we could have set up for Stage 1 finals. Like, we couldn't have scripted it any better.
Yeah, I think all of us agree with you, Nate, when we say we can't wait to get into the game to see how it pans out. Because, again, now after having seen their semifinal performances, I don't think there's a worry that either of these teams are going to perform
And here's the thing, too, that we haven't really been talking about is map-by-map breakdowns. In every series that both of these teams have played, I don't think they've lost the initial hard point. That has gotten them to the point where they are now in the finals. So I think this hard point is going to be a really, really good indicator to how this match is going to play out as we get straight into the picks and bans, or protected bans on Stronghold hardpoint.
Coming into this one, wondering if we wind up seeing an HC ban from either of these teams. It's very useful in getting into that bunker hardpoint. Also, Purifier, no surprise there. The MR6 ban, that's immediately targeted right at Octane. Formal does not want to have to deal with that incredible secondary pistol in the hands of the other AR he'll be facing. Now, I will point out, at UMG South Carolina, this was the map where Rise Nation wound up playing without stock on, and Octane dropped like 46 kills and 20 deaths.
Yeah, so we're already seeing, some of these slight differences now that they know they're playing, top 2 against, 1 against 2, and you gotta play to your strengths, right? And you gotta make sure that you can kind of block out the strengths that others might have. So we're seeing that Purifier ban come out, the MR6. We'd have a player drop real quick, so we're going to get them back in the lobby, go through the protection.
These guys, the players this time,
they're trying to
are delaying the finals. This is not us. You guys can blame Scump. You guys can blame Looney. I don't want to hear it, okay?
They're just drawing the intensity out, making sure the suspense is there.
No, that's the way to do it. That's the way to set it up. I'm curious to see if we can see the Purifier ban, because I like that, because this is the one map that you've seen the Purifier just wreak havoc in terms of hardpoint because of where the hills actually go into that back lockers area, back bunker, where that thing just absolutely shreds. We have seen so many highlight feeds I've seen Crimsix get like 9 kills on this exact map. Yeah, so that's why we probably will see the Purifier get banned very quickly, and just so many different strategies going into Stronghold hardpoint.
Yeah, especially when it comes to that bunker hill, right? I mean, both entrances are so good for the Purifier when you're trying to defend the hill. You can actually just hold it down and just spray out the door. That flame's going out. You're going to hold it for at least another 30 seconds.
I'd be really interested to see if the stock gets targeted in this series, because stock has been a very kind of hot attachment on these weapons as of late because of the stock submachine guns. But even more, as I mentioned, Octane does not use a stock on that AR most of the times. He didn't use it on a map like Stronghold in the past. it's definitely something that could try to give him an advantage against the likes of Formal, try to throw Formal off his game just a little bit.
It's very odd how the meta changes for pro players. We were talking about it earlier. It seems like they're always late to the party and the way they play their games, but I just found out a few weeks ago that stock on an SMG has actually been the meta for a lot of pros. Like Scump was hounding me. I played a series of 8s with him, and it went so horrifically bad. But I had no idea. The stock has never been an attachment that any pro player has ever used in any game. If you date it back all the way to when stock was introduced, I think in like Modern Warfare 3. It just has never been something that people have used on their classes. And I think the biggest thing for when we were watching the Stronghold Hardpoint is the gray area in between hills, like the last 10 seconds and the first 10 seconds, because both of these teams are kings in their own right when it comes to rotating. They're both very smart in terms of like, okay, we need to give up this time, we need to get to the next hill. And it's going to be very, very awesome to see the way that these two teams confront each other when it comes to those rotations, because that is really the key to Hardpoint, and both these teams already do it so well.
Yeah, exactly. They're both really confident. We talked about the individual matchups you listed earlier. They're confident in their own gun skill. So when they're rotating, they're not going to have any fear when they're going. Sure, you know that the other team's expecting you, but you go in thinking you're going to win that gunfight.
It's such a hard thing to explain to the audience, but you see these teams and you see these players, and they're praised for their talent. But what you don't see is those small decisions. I was telling Revan, and he knows this just as well. There are so many small decisions that will add up in matches, and those will be the reasons why you win. It's so hard for you to see, like when you're watching at home, the small things, the small rotations, getting off the hill and going somewhere else, and just helping out your team in those really small ways that will stack up and really give you the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, the most perfect game may not be the most exciting because it's actually all going to come down to those internal decisions to make. It's not going to be that one quad defeat every time that gets you the win. It's going to be, the ones here and there, the doubles here and there and whatnots. And not always is going to be the Cerberus that gets you the win. It's going to be that one Hustler Missile or something like that that's going to get you all the way to the victory.
I think one thing, too, that's going to be crazy about this. Did I cut you off?
No, I just got a really interesting question to ask you guys. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was going to point out was both of these teams, actually, in my opinion, show some of the best strafing in gunfights of any teams in this game because of the stock submachine gun. If you have it on a man like Slacked or Looney, you'll see them all the time in the hardpoint, just bounce back and forth, try to catch their opponent off guard. Scump is also very good at that as well. That's why, again, I think the stock will be something so contested in this series.
Now, one thing I want to do, I want to test everybody's knowledge here, okay? We see it all the time on NBA at TNT with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah. I want to hear series predictions, okay?
Okay.
I want to see how well you guys know these teams. What do you think's going to happen? We'll start from left to right.
I see how this is going. You want to flip the positions a little bit on me.
No,
we'll take it over.
I want to see Matt predictions. In a best of 7, who do you think's coming out on top?
Okay, first of all, I want to say no matter what, I think it's going to be a 4-3.
Oh, come on. Oh, wait, 4-3?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 4-3.
I thought you were trying to be real neutral. Give me like a PR answer.
Hey, no, man. Normally that's my job as a host, but you know what? I'm gonna bite the bait this time. I think it's going to be 4-3. But I do think it's going to be OpTic. I do. Because here's the thing. As much as I think it's realistic that Rise can win, at some point I think maybe the greed's going to get to it a little bit. When they get close to that win, they're going to be like, hey, this is that moment we've been waiting for. They've been waiting for it for so long, in some ways more so than OpTic, in my opinion. That's gonna catch them off guard. And like you said, that one small mistake, OpTic's a team that's going to take advantage of it. They're going to win 4-3.
We've had 10 matches so far this weekend. I've predicted 9 of the 10 right. The only one I got wrong was Liquid versus H2K when Liquid threw the series away. So my prediction that I set on Thursday evening was OpTic. We're going to win the Grand Finals versus Rise 4-2. I'm sticking by it. Hey, Greenwall fans, you remember the Courage Curse from a few weeks ago? I don't know if you knew. I casted the only 2 OpTic losses in the COD World League Stage 1, but I'm still going with OG. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Well, you're not casting, though. I'm
not casting, but I'm still in the venue, so some might try to pin this one on me. I know no matter win or lose, my mentions are going to be filled with people either blaming me or praising me for my prediction. Okay, Nate, now let's hear your prediction.
I'm so worried because the owner of Rise is sitting in the front of the stage, and I feel like he's going to come tackle me on this couch.
Well, you still got to make the call because at the end of the day, I'm the host, you're the guest. Let's hear it, Nate.
I hate to do it, but I mean, it's so disrespectful because Rise, in every facet right now, they should be getting this prediction in their favor. Like,
absolutely,
they have won every single LAN, but I just feel like it's at that point. I know what's going through OpTic's heads. They're going to win 4-2. I'm giving it to OpTic.
4-2?
4-2. It just, the reason I say that is because I don't know.
The crowd's turning. They're looking at you, man. They're staring you down.
I want to know, what does the crowd think, okay? So in 3 seconds,
right,
I want everybody to bring out their predictions. In 3, 2, you guys just yelled out. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was kind of weak.
It was kind of weak. I heard a lot of OpTic, but it was very weak.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Nah, honestly, I usually hate when people do that. Like, let's hear the crowd.
It's different. It's different when you're sitting here.
But
it's a little fun.
Can you guys get my back? That's the first time I tried that.
I hear you, Nate. It's a different perspective. But I think you're right. I think that's the best way to put it, is that when you look at the stats, when you look at the history, when you look at the game so far this weekend, technically Rise has all the right to be expected to win, no matter who you're talking to. But something, I mean, just maybe it's the name. Maybe it's the name OpTic. Just what you know that name for keeps catching all of us at the back of our heads, and everyone's having this feeling that, ooh, OpTic still has that edge.
We are terrible people. I'm so sorry, Rise Nation. But if we are right, at least we look like we're cool.
And if we're wrong, Rise still gets to win, so they're happy. So it's a win-win situation, right? As we go into the bans and protects, that Purifier is still banned. And now it is going to be that HC you mentioned earlier, if that's going to get banned out or not. It is banned out by Crim 6.
The Purifier is going home, like it did in the first ban, or the Protect and ban. And the flashbang as well. I'm sure we're going to see stuns come in. And we still haven't seen that MR6 that was in the first batch in Protect and bans before they had to restart this game. Taking a little bit of time to decide. Rapid Fire going home right away, getting banned. And there goes the stun. There it is. So we don't have to worry about trophies.
The Shiva.
Ooh, the MR6 not going home.
A bit of a target on that Shiva. The stock is still in, so we'll probably see that on a lot of the guns, regardless of sub or assault rifle. But the Shiva, definitely a target. I mean, when you have strong AR players on the other side, you're afraid of that two-shot kill.
Oh, for sure. And Kinetic Armor does make it through, which obviously Scump, it's his go-to. That will definitely help them in breaking different hard points. You saw it used last series very well to break that AC one versus Elevate. Will be brought out again here. Heatwave from Karma as well.
Yep, so all the same mirrored on both sides when it comes to specialist choices. This is game number 1 of the Grand Finals for the Call of Duty World League North American Stage 1 playoffs presented by PlayStation 4. It's going to be that hard point over on Stronghold.
Now, I'm going to point out one thing and one thing only on this matchup, and it's these two players, Octane versus Formal. I've mentioned them throughout the day. They're two of my favorite guys to watch, and it's all going to come down to their positions, who can win these engagements. To start it off, I've already put in those two black circles where you'll see both these players go off the start. You're going to have whoever spawns low side, they're going to get right to that half wall, try to shoot over middle map, vice versa for Formal. You'll also maybe see the player position himself top mansion. In regards to these classes, a lot of it's going to be communication, right? You want to call out exactly where the other AR is, so you can have a submachine gun player try to get a flank in, maybe even a long overextension to catch him off guard. You need help from your teammate to take him down. You can't keep challenging him one by one. Also, on the other side of things, if you're spawning down low, you want to try to push up in through bottom mansion and maybe catch the player off guard on fire pit. Anything you can do to limit the vision of the ARs in this map, to give your submachine guns the presence to run around and roam freely, will definitely help you get control of the certain areas in this one. Also, the hills to watch out for, as always, if you're new to competitive Call of Duty. It doesn't matter if a team is up by 60 seconds. If it gets to this bunker hard point, the team down can definitely come back with a stronghold.
I love that you mentioned kind of ruining the vision of the assault rifle players, because what better way to do it than with smokes, right, Nate?
Hey, they've been great this weekend. I don't want to hear it. They've been great.
We've seen like 2 smokes being thrown.
Oh, we'll see.
This isn't CSGO.
Potentially 7 more games.
And we don't use smokes.
They're loading it right now,
we
so
don't
we'll
use
find out.
flashbangs. We don't use stuns. We do guns only, because that's all we're capable of.
Well, we'll find out when we get into this game. It is going to be OpTic versus Rise. Best of 7 grand finals. Who's going to take the lead towards that trophy? We'll find out as we jump in with Maven and Mr. X.
Thank you, boys. Here we are, the grand final, OpTic, Rise. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. And I think for me, the 2 biggest players in this series to look out for, on the side of OpTic Gaming, Karma, and on the side of Rise, I'm looking at Classic. These 2 guys have the opportunity to make the biggest impact in this series. I mean, we've seen Classic step up in big pressure situations before with tons of kills, great OBJ time. If there's one game for him to go huge in, it's this one.
All right, well, I'm going to go on with Classic. You know, early in the game, he was one of our favorite players to watch. Just so versatile, could do it all, get the slaying done, get in on the objective. Let's watch him off the break, see what he's going to bring to this one early on. Game 1, Grand Finals, Stronghold, Hardpoint. Let's get it going.
It's going to be a 2 AR setup out of Rise Nation here at the beginning, it's going to be Octane and Classic. Octane's going to play more towards the fire pit. You're going to see Classic come through the middle, straight into the hill. It seems like OpTic Gaming playing this one.
Not playing this one.
We're just not playing this one at all.
And apologize, guys. It looks like there may be an issue. That does not appear to be a beautiful mountains. Beautiful mountains.
OpTic is giving up a lot of time on this first hill, it seems. But no, sure we'll get a reset here. And we'll talk a little bit more about the players in this matchup. I'm a big fan of Classic from the standpoint, and Karma, that they're always in the position to make a play. I feel like they're going to have a lot of one-on-one engagements during this matchup. They both run AR SMGs. They switch back and forth.
Yeah.
I think those are two big players to look out for. You're going to need a big game out of Karma against this Rise Nation team.
Well, I'm curious, they talk predictions a little bit, and we may be going back to analysis while we get all this figured out, but I need a prediction from you, buddy. What are you thinking?
Well, just looking at some of these maps, I think this one can kind of go either way. Breach S&D, that's a rematch of Game 5 from Totinos that Rise actually took. And then you look at Fringe Uplink, that is one that we've seen Rise Nation throughout the season put up ridiculous scores on.
You got to pick something.
I think it goes to 7. I think this one goes to 7.
Well,
I think
you
it
stole
goes
my
to
answer.
Infection S&D.
Thank you.
And at that moment in time, I mean, you could have Octane get hot with a sniper. It's going to be highly contested towards the end. I would not be shocked if Rise wins this. They come in with a lot of pressure, but
you just took Rise 4-3. That's why I heard you.
They're fueled by everyone kind of talking them down. The fact that they can't get it done against the top teams at a live event. I think that's great motivation to go into the series with.
Certainly have a chip on their shoulder, you got to think, coming into this one. Despite the fact they've won both lands, you still see it constantly, whether it's on Reddit, on Twitter. OpTic's the best team. They're 20-2. OpTic's the best team. Rise, certainly, it feels like they have more to prove. They have the pressure. They want to take this one. These guys are going to be fired up. Just a quick restart of the game here. We should be able to hop right back into things. Won't need to do the ban protect or specialists if we've already had those selected.
I'll ask you, who are the key players for you in this matchup? I think, Classic versus Karma, that's a nice matchup to look at.
Formal versus Octane.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking at the AR player, especially here. Let me steal this sheet of paper from you because you were talking through the maps a little bit. When we look at the hard points, both ones where I think between Fringe and Stronghold, going to be AR dominated. Infection S&D, Breach S&D. I'm going to look at the AR players. I think it's going to be Formal versus Octane is definitely the matchup because Octane has been. He's sort of, I feel like Formal cemented himself as a top AR player. Octane has in this game, he really kind of rose up through advanced warfare.
He has in general. I think that's just a discussion that needs to end. I don't think he needs to prove himself anymore. I mean, the guy has just been silly. See the Rise Nation guys just really calm. Not really bothered by it.
That's what you want to see.
I mean, everybody in the room, a lot of people cheering on OpTic Gaming, and it does not seem to phase Rise at all. This is a team that, since the beginning of this tournament, this is what they want. They wanted their chance against OpTic Gaming. They're going to get it here. They're going to have to live with the results. I think Rise Nation, though, they are so motivated, David.
All right, well, we are going to be taking another shot at this one to get Game 1 on the way. If you haven't tuned in all weekend, you're just hopping in. This is the grand final, a best-of-7 OpTic Gaming Rise Nation. Winner takes it all. It's a prize purse of $250,000. Stage 1 has gone over the past 3 months to narrow it down to the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. Let's get it going once again with Classic.
We'll see if he goes same exact route he did in the first one. It looks like we're going to see it.
Positive everyone's moving now.
Yeah, everybody is moving, so we're going to keep continuing in this game and see Classic come from those mid-cuts with the assault rifle. And usually it's a position we see teams send an SMG player in. They're going to have Classic with Octane, and they're looking over him, but it's OpTic Gaming dominating the kill feed at the start. You see Rise, they're going to spawn over by half on. It's not the worst thing in the world. They're going to have to push through, get those mansion spawns for that second hill, though.
Well, you see Krem flying in, wanted to pick up a little bit of time. He got the VMP, and he was going to go soaring in, but gets dropped. 2 streak right now for Karma. Good awareness there as he goes back to check the spawn. Shots a little off, but he is going to be able to pick up the kill. 18-2 advantage. Early control for OpTic Gaming. We've got another 20 seconds or so here before we're going to rotate into Mansion.
I think for Rise Nation, it's a pretty slow start. Obviously, OpTic Gaming getting hot at the beginning. But if you take Mansion, it kind of erases everything that's happened here. They just need to get warm. OpTic obviously just played here. They're feeling pretty good. Obviously, their guns were great against Elevate. Rise just needs to get warmed up in this first hill or so and then really take this Mansion one and start this train.
Well, and a lot of pressure. You talked about who needs to go big. A lot of pressure's on Looney. They just beat FaZe. He went up against one of the best sub players and attached. Now next thing, it's like, no break for you, pal. Now you have Scump. He needs to have another huge series. You saw him with an MVP performance there in the semifinals.
But I feel like a lot of people they just overlook Looney when we talk about best SMGs in the game.
Those
Looney,
people are crazy.
Yeah, Looney, a fantastic player, and I think definitely wants to prove, same thing with the rest of the Rise Nation squad, that they belong in that upper echelon. You see Formal, though, mid-map winning that gun battle against Octane. You have Looney up top. He's going to drop down, try and challenge this player bottom bar inside Mansion, but it's a fast break from OpTic Gaming as they get control. You see Scum taking out one, not able to get the second. Slack just going to try and contest. He's actually able to get two in the process. You see Rise trying to flood in, but they just cannot get a break right now.
Well, just look at the slaying so far from OpTic Gaming. They've got an early advantage. Every player positive, everyone getting involved on the objective as well, and now we're going to have to rotate out to half-full. But you can see setup already is going to be Slacked in Rise Nation. They're ready to hold this down. If they can get a solid hold, they'll be right back into this one, Matt. What's the best way to hold this, buddy?
Well, obviously, you're going to have control the spawns. You want players in the back satellite area, and then obviously force the other team to flood through bunker, but it doesn't look like that Rise is able to do that. They're going to need their AR to start playing well. I mean, look at Formal, 9-4. You asked for a good start from him and Krim. I mean, obviously, the grand finals, Krim is going to show up. He starts things off 10-3. You see Formal, Scub getting in the kill feed, taking those players out, coming from bunker. It's a fantastic hold right here from OpTic Gaming. And I like the idea from Rise Nation, though, to rotate early. They gave up on Mansion, didn't want to feed streaks, but they just were not able to hold this half-all hill.
Well, you had a 4 streak for Krim. He dropped. Now you have 4 for Formal. Look at them, 11-4 each, doing a monster performance here in the Slag as he cannot be stopped. He's getting close now to the Lightning. He is going to finally get dropped right before those streaks come in. But let's check out Scump now. He has Kinetic if he buys to pop this. Maybe saving that, you think, for bunker once we get going there?
Yeah, just in case Rise gets control of bunker, you want to have that kinetic armor. Obviously, the Purifier gone, so kinetic armor, one of the more powerful abilities to break into that bunker hill.
Well, here come 2 players pinching on Looney. He's able to find one, trying to control satellite here. The spawn wins another gunfight there as he's going to gun Formal. One in front, comes flying in as Karma with the melee, but that will be traded out here by Slack. So you have Kinetic for Slack, Kinetic then for Scump on the other side of things, but OpTic's opened up a 60-point lead. But this bunker rotation coming up here in the next 10 to 15 seconds is going to be everything. This could be OpTic just blowing the doors open, or Rise Nation basically tying this one up.
Yeah, Rise can make this game very close if they get over to bunker and take the rest of that time. 20 seconds left here on Snow, and you're going to see Formal winning that gunfight versus Classic. It's Octane able to take him out. If you're OpTic, you start rotating over towards bunker, and that's exactly what you see. But look at this, Classic. Slack in a fantastic position, actually, with this kinetic armor. Does he elect to use? He's going to have one player come around the corner. Has to know there's other players here from OpTic Gaming. He's got some AR support behind him. Let's see. This is going to be a huge situation in terms of the game. How this plays out could determine if Rise Nation makes the comeback or not.
And Slack still has this kinetic. They keep pushing. He gets the points to hold the hard point. He picked up 2. The early rotation paying off, and he is gunning everyone using cover. 3 streak for Slack. Finally going to fall. OpTic Gaming trying to break. They're flying in. Holding on so far is Rise Nation. It's been contested. No one able to get points. Smoke down. Nade shots confused, and the hold comes in for OpTic.
Again, you saw that. It was a Scump around the corner. He actually got out of the hill because he didn't want to challenge that player with an SMG on that box. He waited for Krim to come out and peek it with an AR. Krim doesn't win the gunfight, but Scump's able to fly in and win that second initial attempt.
Octane just held off with an L-car there.
Octane picking up 2 big kills, and he's actually going to get 2 more, actually 1 more around the corner. And this is a fantastic comeback by Rise Nation. They need to get these players out of the corner. You see Classic flying in. He's able to pick up 2 in the kill feed, but Octane 75 away from the Lightning would be huge for them to get streaks.
If he could get streaks, that would be massive, but honestly, even though we see the tail end of these points going towards Rise Nation, there wasn't really any change in score. It was a 60-point advantage for OpTic going into this, because even though no one was able to really lock it down, it was contested for what seemed like 75% of that hard point.
Yeah, Rise just never was able to push through and get control of that hill, and Looney off to a slow start, 8-14. You expect him to turn up in the second half.
They can't afford that. They just can't.
They absolutely cannot. I mean, when you have Scump playing decently well, he's winning his engagements close to the hill. You need Looney to counter that player.
Well, let's check Scump out. We haven't been on with him much, and you'll see why he's doing well. Wins 1, has another around the corner. Will he check it? Sees him low and obliterates Looney. Another one in front and not going to be able to find it, but solid stuff there from King Scump. Let's switch things over to the top AR player for OpTic Gaming. That is going to be Formal, but you saw Octane pulling out that sight. Can he lock down these front steps and hold on to that spawn? And is sight out for Formal as well on the other side? Yes, it is.
And you see, it was Rise Nation climbing back into this one a little bit. They're going to have Mansion control, so they don't win that bunker hill, but they are clawing back. They're getting good time on these hills, and OpTic needs to be cautious here, Maven. They give up a lot of time on Mansion, or they give up the guys on Rise Nation streaks could be dangerous.
Well, you mentioned them needing to be cautious. I want to see how they're holding it down with the communication. Let's toss it over to an OpTic Gaming listen-in.
Factory. One guy top, top kitchen and table. One door hill, one shot hill. He's behind the couch, one shot absolute. Top bar. Nice, two top kitchen, last two top kitchen. I'm coming on rocks again, they're coming to your front. I'm coming on front mansion. I don't see mid. Stay down, watch your top. Nice! Cut to rocks. Oh no, he's going back middle. Watch your top. I got your wall right, I got wall right. Push up front. I got front, watch your top right now. Octane's front, he got me. Two front, both in front. One guy went highway, I think. I'm preming it. Top in hill. Top tables, I'm holding. Last two in hill, I got bunker. Push up front mansion. Front mansion, one shot front mansion, guys. Got one, nice. Bunker with an AR. Looking front mansion. I hear you. I'm going back. I'm wrapping around after you're alone. Got him. Rocks. I'm looking. He's one shot back rock. Nice. Coming. He's far right rocks. They're going to be bunkers. Going to the back.
Solid stuff from OpTic. They're maintaining this 50 to 60 point lead. What did you like about that listen-in?
Oh, their communication's on point. I mean, sometimes they can get a little bit silent. Obviously, Karma doesn't call out all the time, but you heard his voice a lot during that listen-in. If you're an OpTic Gaming fan, that's a good sign.
Could not agree with you more. They're hyped. The boys are into it, and they're holding on to this lead. You've talked about the struggles of Looney. 13 in AT, picking up 2. There's 3. We got to him at the right time. The heat wave coming in clutch, but he will not see the player prone to his left. And it's going to come down to bunker ban. If Rise has any chance, they are going to have a massive hard point the second time through here.
Well, they would have had a great hard point the first time through. They just never pushed out.
Slack did his job. He got ready. I would have liked to see him push with the kinetic armor, though, for those other 2 players around the corner.
Right. They always let those players get to the corner, contest, trading back and forth. And Rise Nation plays it the same exact way, but they actually next time push through and get control of bunker. They could have been able to lock that down for an extended period. You see a lot of pressure being put on Octane here to lock down these spawns. He has 2 players converging armor. Karma from his left, Formal from his right. Karma's able to pick up that kill, and now it's going to make it hard for Rise to be able to get into this hill.
Well, Rise Nation spawning out. They've got a lot of work to do. Let's hop to a listen, and can they bring it back?
I'm trying to get satellite. No, top. Downhill, on hill from mid on. Nice, mantle. I got them both. I'm trying to pick up your middle. They could be satellite. Top heady, weak. Top heady. Satellite, bottom 2 middle. I spawned both already. No middle. They can still spawn in. Satellite, last kid. He heat waved me. Fuck. I'm trying to hold out heady. I spawned in next. I'm pushing out heady. Got one. I'm with you, Danny. One's pushing you in the back, Danny. Binding in the back. Hold on, kill him. Oh, he's in the back already. He got me naked. Back mansion. Back cube. I spawned out heady. Back cube already. One's mansion. You guys gotta help me. Hold the pinch. I'm gonna hold it from here. Alright, that's fine. I don't see Seth in cube. He's cube. Just push out. He's weak.
Classic popping the camo here, trying to find this player back spawn. Ring around the rosy. Where did he go? He should be getting back whacked. Not going to find him. That was Scump winning a key engagement in the back, and now the break's going to come. Kinetic armor getting popped. One around the corner. The heat wave comes in. They're able to counter it out. Formal by himself. He's got a lot of work here to try and contest.
Oh, when Classic doesn't come up with that hill, I'm thinking in my head that OpTic's going to be able to pinch and able to break this. But huge kills out of Slacked and Octane, and the hill going to be controlled by Rise Nation. You see 3 kills going in the kill feed for them. They need to push out and kill Scump, though. He's able to pick up a huge toothpiece. You see the smokes coming in. All OpTic Gaming has to do is contest, and you would count this hill as a win for them.
And it's crazy. This has probably been the most hotly contested bunker.
Hold on a sec.
The most hotly contested bunker hardpoint we've ever seen. So few points actually going through.
He's 175 from a Wraith.
If he gets this Wraith, it would be unreal. Don't feed him, OpTic. You don't want to feed him, and they're able to take him out. Octane 35 and 30, but falling just short of the Wraith.
Well, there's still a lot of time left in this game. They're not out of it. They get those 2 streaks to use to break potentially Snow if they end up giving up that 3rd hill. You can take this first one and mansion, put yourself in a good position to win the game, and you see he's going to use the Hellstorm, not able to get anything with it. I think he saves that lightning strike until they desperately need a break.
All right, well, let's look at half wall. We're right front of half wall. It's going to be Classic. He picks up a couple. Octane, Looney coming in as well. That was 4 down for OpTic Gaming. They're trying to mount this comeback. OpTic only needs 20 points. Can Rise Nation do it? The Lightning got called in. Octane's used all his streaks, and now they need a godly performance for it. Slacked had a big 2-piece inside a bunker. He has one here as well. They're holding strong. Can they remain tough? Trailing by 30. Coming back. Slack's a beast, but finally falling.
And I was going to say OpTic needed a big play there, because when the games get close, sometimes towards the end, when they have big leads, they tend to just flood the hill and just try and make these individual plays. It could have got scary for them. 10 seconds left on this hill. Rise Nation looks like they're going to try and get into Mansion and set up, and this is going to be the game for them.
Yep, they should be able to close this. OpTic 6 points away, holding here inside a Mansion. It's contested now. Just need to pick up a few kills. Here's the heat wave. That should be 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's actually his teammate not able to close it out, but 2 points away is OpTic, and this is all she wrote. This game one's going to be going OpTic Gaming's way.
The hill's contested, and it's actually going to be OpTic getting in there, and they're going to win it 250-201. A fantastic comeback by Rise Nation, just not enough in the end.
They couldn't get it done. They tried to bring it back, but what a weird couple of bunker hard points we saw. It's the key on this map. I'm curious what our analysis couch thinks about it. Chopra, William, take it away, buddy.
Thank you, Maven and Mistress, for calling the action, because that was a fun game to start things off with. OpTic takes that win, though, and they're looking strong right now.
That was a very close match. I mean, the score 250 to around 200. I mean, 50 points is considered a lot, in my opinion, but it was so close throughout. I mean, Rise towards the end, they were mounting a little bit of a comeback. I mean, there was a good, like, 2 or 3 solid exchanges where the entire kill feed was just Rise Nation.
Yeah.
But OpTic held out. They came off with a great start. They were on fire. Jack, what do you think?
No, I said prior to that game going in, it's really going to come down to which team comes out hot. OpTic get that, 60-second lead?
Yeah.
And that winds up being the lead through the rest of the game. Yes, Octane had a slow start. Looney had a slow start. They really began to build up, but at that point it was really just too little too late. OpTic were in their groove. They had special CUs and they closed it out.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, right? OpTic comes out strong, and like you mentioned, the 2 players kind of weighing Rise down in the beginning was Octane and Looney, and those 2 are the players that we said have been going off this weekend. Those 2 are the ones that people look at when they talk about the slaying department for Rise. Even towards the end, the comeback, a lot of it slacked, was playing out of his mind trying to bring the team back in.
I'm really intrigued to find out what would have happened if Octane would have got that Wraith, because that score streak is unbelievable. I had no idea any pro players even ran that. That would have been really cool to see, especially too for that middle hill. You see Looney picking up some pretty critical kills right here in the game, and he was struggling at that point, and then that big 2-piece really helped him out. And this is where they were sort of they were battling. I mean, this is what Pro Call is all about. It's just really grinding out these maps and trying to get as much talented. It is so difficult to just dominate the hill at any point in time. So OpTic just got off to a great start. They held out throughout the entire game, and they came away with map 1, and that was the story for all these matches. Whoever takes map 1 usually wins the match.
And I think, too, you mentioned how he didn't get the Wraith. At that time, too, he just brought up the Scythe. Doesn't even get a single kill with it. That could have definitely been used to help break that middle hardpoint, gain control for his team. In the end, though, 249. It was like 249 to 200. Rise get control of the hill. At that point, there's no time left.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, you see the scoreboard at the end. Sure, everyone kind of started picking up the slack here for Rise, but it's that one moment. We talked about this yesterday, Nate. You mentioned when it comes to that hard point, when it comes to the top level, you get that one hill where you burst forward, and then you just have to hold on to the lead.
And one thing you noticed about the scoreboard there, too, was that OpTic were all very close to each other in terms of kills.
Yeah.
Everybody was contributing, and that's why OpTic is such a dangerous team, because it's so rare that you see any of those players have an off game.
Well, it's right into the bans and protects for map number 2. We've been saying we want to keep seeing the games between these 2 teams. Well, here we go. It's going to be that search and destroy and breach, and Overkill gets taken out by Looney right away.
And then the thermal, I said thermal. Jeez.
Man, you really have
Thermal's really on my mind, man. Thermal getting banned as well, and so is Flashbang, and then the Shiva. A little different of variety here, but it's still kind of, that Flashbang always goes. The high caliber, the concussion is gone too. I think I'm more intrigued by the specialist in terms of what is really going to change the game besides ban and protect.
Yeah, and looking through this really doesn't surprise me with what we've seen so far. Rapid fire goes, that's all pretty standard stuff, especially for search and destroy.
Yep, and the Shiva, of course, I mean, maybe partially influenced by what they saw earlier in the game. Even Crimsix was bringing it out, especially when the rapid fire was in the game. But of course, you got to think about Formal too. They just don't want to give those easier kills when it comes to just those 2-hit from the Shiva. So that's taken out, and now we're going to go down the list. Look at the specialists. I think we're going to see the usual things again, but Vision Plus coming out once again. Specialist ability not as common as some of the other ones like Kinetic Armor and Heat Wave.
I wonder what Crim6's motivation is here to run Vision Pulse. I mean, we have Classic coming in with the active camo, and that's what he used first map. If Formal's not using camo, okay, there it goes, because I was a little worried. right there. I wasn't sure if they slipped up because Camo is without a doubt my favorite specialist.
Yeah,
I feel like
Octane-
it's guaranteed kill every time.
Octane actually picks up the Vision Pulse too, so another mirror in terms of specialist choices between these two teams. Well, Search and Destroy on Breach for map number 2. Jack, what are your key points for this one?
Here's a start I want to see off this one, right? I want to see players flood right out towards middle map, get aggressive towards each other. Obviously, as time goes on, you'll see the specialists begin to get earned. That'll definitely affect how this one is played. Obviously, Vision Pulse from Cryptsix going to be very key on this map, but one thing I do want to point out here is we've seen before from Rise, they go right towards top middle. They want to command control of it. I want to see OpTic Gaming play with confidence, flood that middle map as well, and battle them. We saw in the past, teams will do that 2-3 times in a row, and you'll be 3 rounds into a game with only 45 seconds of gameplay. Once that goes away, you'll see more and more times there'll be methodical pushes towards this B-bomb site right outside here in construction. This area is very key to lock down, obviously, to not only get the bomb planted, but win a round for your team. Things to look for on this map. Who's going to wind up winning with those ARs? At times, you'll see 3 ARs per team, just trying to pick players off cover where only their head can be seen. Definitely something that can come into play on a map like Breach S&D. First time we're seeing it this weekend. Very excited to get it started.
Both of these teams have been pretty good in S&D this tournament. I mean, OpTic had a few slip-ups versus TSM, but Rise Nation, I mean, beating FaZe clan even in a Search and Destroy shows how much talent they actually have in this game type. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like it always is. This first Search and Destroy is such a big indicator of how matches are usually going to play out.
I saw one thing at the end of that map, and typically if you watched a Formal stream before, he'll hit like the craziest triple snipe kill and won't even react. He ends that map, and he is the most hyped on the team, yelling over Scump, which is something rare for Formal. Wondering if he keeps that hype up throughout the rest of the series.
Well, we'll see. It definitely could help for that side of OpTic, because like we said, the hardpoint doesn't always translate over some of the other modes. We'll find out if Rise can fight back and Search and Destroy on Breach as we go into the game with Maven and Mr. X.
Incredible stuff as always, gentlemen. Game 2, S&D on Breach. The S&D, I mean, you and I, we took some flack. Huge. We took some flack from Scump. You know, we said this is one of their weaker game modes. They bounced back, played really well.
Good.
Real good at the end of the season. Not so good against TSM. Better than, obviously, today. But what OpTic are we going to get in S&D today?
You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they looked good in the first series, but it's only one game. You're going to have to see it against Rise Nation. Kind of fortunate, though. Rise Nation is not the strongest S&D team as well. We saw Rise beat OpTic in the finals of Totino's on this map. Obviously, a lot has changed in the meta and the game since then. An Annihilator was used in the final round. We don't see any weapons now in Search and Destroy. So excited to see what these two teams bring out. I actually want to check one player for a second. So I'm going to see no snipers on the side of Rise Nation for a second. Could have thought you had Octane with it on the defensive side of things, but he's not going to bring it out.
All right, well, here we go. Looks like it's going to be an aggressive push towards mid-map for the side of Rise Nation. They're trying to get information early, but they've left the B bomb site wide open now. Who's going to hit connector is what I'm wondering. Will Looney end up flying across, or are they going to wait for the plant here?
Seems like we're going to wait for a plant. We're going to get a 4-4 with the bomb down over at B. One player for OpTic Gaming all the way in the back. That's going to be Cryptsix. We'll have to pay attention to him. Looney falls off the map. Not ideal here.
This has been a rough start for Looney, right?
Yeah.
Hot series earlier. Game 1 not really going his way. That's not how you want to start game number 2. Slack, though, opening things up. Can he find 1? Can he find 2? Shredding Formal there. 2-on-2. 20 seconds left to go. He's going to turn. He gets another one. 1-on-1. It's Karma. Slack. 15 seconds. Does he win? He can't get the aces. Karma shuts things down.
OpTic's able to win the round. We talked about the slow start of Looney. Slack has gotten off to an amazing start these first 2 maps. Almost able to clutch this up for his team. One of the craziest aces we would have seen. Karma, though, comes out, knows he's weak, knows the position he is in, doesn't give him an opportunity to get lost, get out of that bricks area. It's going to be OpTic Gaming winning round number 1.
A fast and furious round 1 for sure. Let's look at Rise's turn now on offense. I got to go with Slack. After that performance, we saw almost clutching, almost picking up all 4 players there of OpTic Gaming. But it looks like we're going to have a bit of a different hit here. Well, actually, for them, I mean, they hit middle on defense. Looks like they want to take control on offense as well. And Slack has already got all the way on top broken. Did that player coming across see him, though? I do not think he did. But where is Formal headed?
Formal's on a flank of his own. You see the bomb's going to go down at A. Formal has to be confused a little bit. He's going to get one player in the middle of the map looking for more. It's going to be Octane in bottom lab, able to take him out. Slack's in such a good position. You see he's able to take out Scum. Top broken. OpTic had no idea that Slack's in that position. And Classic has to know these players Well, it's
inside.
just Karma by himself
last
now.
one
Yeah.
alive. Had to know he was coming through Palace. That's why you saw Classic back up. Fantastic offensive round there from Rise Nation. They really needed that.
Yeah, I mean, OpTic's first round on offense came down to the wire. This much more controlled from Rise Nation. Props to them. Good A plan, good control. And a lot of that was just Slack getting across, control of mid-map. They had no pressure, and he got to top broken, right? You have such a power position there.
Which is why I'm a little shocked you didn't see anyone watch that. Usually
Yeah,
the guy top broken, he'll peak like top AC, then at least get an eye down, or maybe a guy through the middle of the map who gets to your side AC and just looks straight down for that lower wall run.
Certainly.
Going to look to see OpTic change things up on defense.
All right, well, let's see how they play the... Well, look at this. It's just mid-map completely controlled, again, for the boys in red. That's going to be Rise. Can they take advantage of this? Trying to look at the cross, going to get tagged up again. They get so much information here. It looks like they're completely fine to give up this B site, let the plank get down. You saw they almost retook last time. Can they do it again? They're going to be the 3v4, though, here.
Yeah, and Karma's going to get first blood. You see Scum just firing down some emergency shots. He's going to back off the bomb site, and they're going to have one player sitting on that AC. It's going to be able to see if these players cross, and Slack's going to be the first one in. Just targets that same area that Scump was, and who was that through the middle of the map for OpTic? They tried this the last time. This player actually got taken out. You're going to see Looney getting a kill, evening it up at 3 apiece. They're waiting for Krim to come make a play. Krim's going to be able to take out Octane. Comes behind. Nice headshot there on the Looney. They're able to clean up Slack. A fantastic job by OpTic Gaming.
Do you think we're going to have a change in defensive strategy for the side of Rise Nation? They're taking control of mid, they're allowing that B plant, and they're confident in their retake. Now we're 2 for 2 with them not able to get that done.
Well, I think you could put a person in bottom glass. I think that would actually catch OpTic Gaming off guard a little bit, because they have to know you're not playing anybody over at B. They may end up just running out of bricks a little bit recklessly. You're able to get a free kill there, so could potentially see a change on the side of Rise Nation on defense. I want to see what OpTic Gaming is going to change on their defensive side.
They're going top middle. You wanted them to put some pressure here. They do. Formal picking up 2, shutting it down top mid. Scump answers with the other. Everyone dropping. Slack and under broken again. He's got 2. Can he make a hero play? Can't get across. The mantle comes in, and Karma shuts down another crazy Slack performance.
What's kind of funny is they take out everyone but Slacked, and you knew that, okay, Slacked was the guy who came behind us last time. He's still able to hit that same route and take out 2 players. Almost gets away here. Some nice shots. Well, 1 shot to be exact.
Yeah, he was pretty
by
Karma.
up.
Yeah, Slacked was pretty weak. And I mean, if he gets out and goes in behind OpTic, I mean, who knows? The 2v1 scenario could have
And you asked for the response from OpTic, and you got
It's a good
it.
adjustment.
Formal, Scump, take control of mid-map. 2 players dead to Formal's AR before Rise can really get anything going. But let's get into round 5 now. Back to offense here for OpTic Gaming. We haven't been on with Krim too much. He's going to be watching the flank. Now, you asked for a change here for Rise. They do have some players up close and personal. It's going to be Slack. Does he pick up the kill or get caught? Let's look at his angle.
He's going to have the sniper of Octane looking over him, and Classic over there as well. So they're going to stack that B site, but look at this. Looney behind
They
OpTic,
just rotated out. He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, no, nice play by Karma there. Just didn't expect Looney to be there. And you see Formal actually is going to take out Slack. It's going to be a 4v2. Not a great start to this S&D from Rise Nation.
No, it's not, but this is really good. If you're an OpTic Gaming fan, you've been worried about their S&D performance yesterday versus TSM. They are looking very, very strong here. 3-1 advantage, 4v2 right now. There could be an engagement here, but I believe Octane is actually below, and he's got this sniper. That's a tough shot to hit with him going across.
Yeah, but knowing Overkill's gone, as soon as that shot comes out, he's going to get challenged. He's going to get tagged from his right, and it's going to be Krim able to clean that up. Karma in the kill feed, taking out Classic. It's going to be a strong 4-1 performance here, and the lead for OpTic Gaming.
Well, let's talk about these last 2 rounds. Rise was controlling top middle. You saw, I guess, an answer from OpTic. They get up top middle, they take control, they try to make their presence known. So Rise had been giving up B. They tried to do the same, kind of show their presence at B. Doesn't work out for them at all.
And the OpTic that we see struggle in Search and Destroy does not make mid-game adjustments. So it's really nice to see OpTic changing things up mid-game. They realize what Rise is doing early, and they adjust in the next rounds to combat their strategies.
Well, now we have, this looks like defense from Rise, kind of we saw earlier, but now OpTic's going to be giving up the planted B. They're going to be playing the retake.
I don't expect OpTic to rotate back. That's the only difference. Rise would have rotated back to the defensive side of things and played it from that angle. You see, they're just going to try and funnel players towards Formal.
They're trying to pinch from behind, but you can see 2 players in cage are going to be dealing with this flank, and 3 players are devoted to this. They're going to have to work together. Who's got the HC up? That's going to be Scump. Scump trying to fly in. He's going to get some information. He knows 2 are there, and now they're going to begin to soar. They've got to apply pressure. You have Formal on one side getting shots in. You have Scump pushing on the other, picking up one. Karma's in front as well. The 2-person bait and switch going through, trying to find as many as they can. On the backside, everyone dropping. It's just Octane to go, but he's picked up 2. He's in a 1v2. He'd need the ace, but they're already on the bomb, and Crim6 has got the defuse.
Fantastic play by OpTic Gaming. When they leave Formal on the defensive side of the map and they push all the way around towards cages, it just traps Rise Nation over in bricks, over in cages. Just a fantastic play.
Well, I mean, the only one that could even deal with him there would maybe be Octane in a one-on-one gunfight, but you have him hard triggering that corner by bomb. How do you kill Formal there unless you fly
I expected that once OpTic showed that they were coming on the flank, that Rise was just going to fall back and play from the defensive side of things, and they would have walked into Formal and he would have picked up 1 or 2 players.
Yeah. Well, Slack's just looking at his team like, guys, can I get a little bit of help? Look how well-rounded the effort is from OpTic Gaming and how lopsided it is for Rise Nation. What does that tell you about the 2 teams' performances right now?
I mean, obviously the score kind of tells you what the 2 teams' performances.
Well, that's true.
I mean, those 2 players I said could have been X factors. Karma and Classic. Right now you got Karma at 6 and 2, Classic at 1 and 5. That tells me a lot.
All right, well, 1 down for OpTic. They got the first blood, but Scump wants to answer back. I think I saw Octane. No, who's actually in the back? It's going to be Looney in the back with an M8. Thought maybe they were looking over with the sniper. So they've turned this into a 3v3. OpTic Gaming 1 round away from taking a 2-0 lead in the series. Rise has got a lot of work to do to bounce back here in Game 2.
Crim actually picks up this kill. I would not be opposed to OpTic rotating this over towards A. He's going to get some shots down. Looney helps his teammate out, taking Crim from up top, and you're going to see Karma's going to push all the way through. I like the decision to rotate this bomb all the way over the A side. Karma's going to throw some prayer nades over the building. He's not going to be able to connect with the first one. Oh, he gets flak on the second one, but yeah, gains some information. And he's going to rely on Scump to go big. Scump just needs to buy time for Karma right now. Yeah, he has Kinetic and Heat Wave. I mean, you're up 5-1. I'd probably try and use both to win this round.
But now they spotted him. He wasn't able to pick up the kill, getting into top broken. Scump's going to have a lot of work to do. He goes in. He has Kinetic. Are they going to use everything here? He saw one more. It's going to be Karma trying to grab it, but now 1v2. Bomb is planted for Scump. Can he get it done? The Kinetic armor is off. He's going to have to deal with the 2 players of Rise. One sticking the bomb. He's on it. They're lining up. Oh, you got to win that one. But he gets dominated by Slack, and Rise Nation is staying alive.
He just had a hard time deciding who he wanted to kill.
That's true.
He started shooting at the first player, saw the clock dwindling down, tried to take out the guy on the bomb, and he tagged up both players, just not able to win the gunfight. And you see Slack uses Kinetic armor to win that one.
Well, that explains.
He doesn't pop Kinetic. He probably loses that one. Scump wins the round.
I didn't realize he popped his Kinetic. I thought he completely dominated Scump there, but the Kinetic going to get it done. So did Karma use his Heat Wave? No, he held on to that. Okay, so you have Formal almost to a camo. You have Octane with a Vision Pulse. Let's watch the offensive round here from Octane, see what he does mid-map. And what he's going to do is get tagged up immediately. I think that's Formal.
Again, he has to back down, and they're lucky Looney gets that kill into Karma, because I think they were going to challenge him top AC with an SMG from the bottom. Formal's able to jump up on that top mid hut. He's able to take out Octane. You see Scump just sitting on top of that bomb site. He's just firing down shots, just funneling these players of Rise Nation through Palace, and I thought Crim was going to turn around. I had great positioning. If you're Crim, I think about using Vision Pulse this round.
Well, he hears them. He sees the shadows. He's completely aware they're here. He's got the L car out. He knows there's one. What side do they go? Able to pick it out and win the gunfight. Slack now by himself, planting bomb.
He gets tagged as well.
He's almost been clutched throughout this one, but he can't win it, and that's going to be Game 2. Going to OpTic Gaming, so far completely controlling the series over Rise.
One of the stronger S&D performances we've seen.